Hey, hi, Sue Moore here, recovered banker and founder of The More Connection. Today we're going to do a video on going back to the basics. And I think that while we probably know all this information on some level, it doesn't hurt to just have a little review. So that's what we're going to do today. Here we go. Last weekend, as I might have mentioned, we were fortunate enough to be at a mastermind retreat in Orlando with Ray Higdon, and one of the speakers and guests there was a gal named Diane Huckman, and she is a master market guru, and you can find her at dianehuckman.com. Anyway, when she spoke, she said, let's just get back to the basics, because everybody gets all riled up about here's the latest, greatest thing on Twitter or on Facebook or whatever it is. She said, let's just get back to what your business really is. And this really has to do with any business, regardless of the industry. But if you are in business, you are either developing business, or you've hired someone to do that for you, or you are using some kind of social media platform to develop new relationships that ultimately would result in a new piece of business, right? Okay, so she says, let's just boil this down to 4 things, real simple. First, collect. And by that, what she means is you collect people and new eyeballs, because you can't do anything unless they look at what you've got, okay? And so that's first part of the cycle. So you're out developing business, whether, as I said before, if that's your job at business development, or you're doing other kinds of things in terms of trying to find new people that you can, put on a list someplace, okay? So that's kind of basic. The second thing is capture. So you want to capture their information, or some people call it digits, find out, where they are, how to get a hold of them, and so forth. Now, here's a little insight on that. Exchanging business cards sometimes is great, particularly if you're in a B2C kind of environment. But if you were in a B2B environment, I wouldn't collect a card, because the person you're getting the card from has got their business phone number on it, the business email on it. Sometimes you'll find someone that's got their personal cell on the card. Sometimes they don't. I find it much easier if you just get your phone out and the other person takes their phone out, and you just share the connection with them. That way, you don't have to worry about if the person you're meeting with leaves the company, or might have a company cell phone. So when they leave the company, the cell phone stays with the company, and they've lost all your contacts. So you want to make sure that you've got, as best you can. It doesn't happen in all situations, but as best you can, get a cell phone number and a personal email address, which is golden if you can do that. The third thing is to, this will knock you off your feet, communicate with your prospect, okay? So you've gone to networking meetings, you've met somebody, you've gotten their information, and now you need to talk to them. Well, the reality is, you have to remember, this is not about you. This is about them. So they've got pain points, whether it is a B2C or a B2B connection. If it's a B2B, the company's got issues somewhere, somehow, and you probably have a solution to some of those problems. If it's a B2C, you're talking to an entrepreneur, they will always have an issue that they would like to be better at. And so you want to remember, as I said, this is about them, not you. And so the first thing you don't want to do is dump anything that you have. I mean, I know too many people that when they get into a situation, they just dump everything about their product or their service or their company. And the other person's kind of going, wow, what the heck is all this? The reality is that you should let them do the dumping, really, because that will set the stage for a second conversation. And so if you are out for just the sale, and if you're working on some kind of quota on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis, sometimes we have a tendency to think, oh boy, I got to get this one, I got to get that one. But that comes through right away, and you come across as needy. And so you don't want to do that. So, and then lastly, which seems kind of obvious, is you need to close. Well, what's very interesting is that many people don't. Many people have to learn how. I am still learning how to do that effectively. And as a result, business is left on the table. And so saying something as simple as, sounds to me like you're ready to go to the next step. Or sounds to me like you're ready to start business. That way, they either say yes and you go on further closing the deal, or if there is, or I should say if there are any unanswered questions, they will come up at that time. An objection will come up, and then that gives you information with how you know to go back to them. So that's really it. Let's just recap it. It's collect, capture, communicate, and then close. Real simple, basic stuff. As I said, it's just really nice to have a recap tutorial and how all of that stuff works. So I hope you found some value here. If you'd like to, hop over to my blog at SueMoore.net or to my fan page at SueMoore Connection, I think it is. I should know that. Anyway, it's here someplace on there. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.